So you're thinking of moving to Columbia, South Carolina. Don't do it. At least not before you hear this, because in this video, I'm actually going to be breaking down the 8 biggest reasons people regret moving here. We're talking brutal summers, flooding, traffic, and one thing that almost nobody tells you about until it's too late. Stick around to the very end, because I'm going to share the #1 mistake I see people make when they move here to Columbia all the time, and it could cost you thousands. And for bonus points, I'm gonna be doing this video throughout one particular place. Let me know in the comments where you think I am. It's one of the most popular places in Columbia. Let's do it. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, my name's Chad, and I'm your go-to realtor here in Columbia, South Carolina. I help people from all over the country buy and sell homes right here in the Midlands. And I tell you the truth, the good, the bad, and the ugly, so you can make the best decision possible for you and your family. Now today we're actually talking about the 8 reasons you might not want to live in Columbia, South Carolina. 9 if you count the one we're saving to the end, the #1 reason. I love this city. But if you're thinking of relocating here, you need the full picture. And if you're thinking about making the move, hit that subscribe button. And if you ever want to talk one-on-one, schedule a Zoom call with me. Links down in the description. I even put it up on the board a lot of times. Let's go ahead and jump in. All right, guys, real quick, before we get into the meat of the video, I wanted to tell you guys about how I do YouTube videos versus others. And this is from feedback that you've provided to me, telling me you like it the way I do things. Some like a little more facts, but this is the way I do it. I've lived here in Columbia 50 plus years. I've seen others that put videos on here with so many facts, and to where it almost gets boring. I don't want it scripted out like that, and I want you to get the facts from me as if we're sitting right across the table from each other. I do not know everything about Columbia, but the way I do it is I tell you stories and everything about me right here in Columbia and the way I do things, and I sprinkle in facts throughout. I want you to know what it's like to work with me one-on-one, so when you move here, you know what you're getting. Once we talk, if you want to know facts, I'll give you all the facts that you can handle. And don't forget, yes, I am a little biased about Columbia. If you want to move somewhere else and you need a good realtor, I know realtors all over the country, and I give referrals out all the time and then keep up with my clients as they're doing things with those referrals. Let's go ahead and get right into the video. Okay, let's start with #1, the obvious, the brutal summers. Columbia's hot. It can get all the way from 95 to 100 degrees sometimes, and the humidity makes it feel even worse. But I saw a YouTuber the other day about Columbia talking about it's 4 months of nothing but heat. A lot more than that. It is August right now, and you can see it's overcast. There's a nice breeze. You can still, probably by now you've figured out where I am. But if you don't like sweating, walk into your car. Columbia summers will test you. But you also have things to help. Where I'm at now has all kinds of water places and different things. But at the same time, you've got places like Lake Murray. You've got the rivers. And also, check out, I did an entire video on weather, just weather. So you can check that out as well too. Some people move here and they just can't handle it. If that's the case, call me. I'll help you find out where you can move later on. Now, #2, let's talk traffic. Let's be clear, Columbia is not Atlanta, Charlotte, Dallas. To me, this is not that big a thing. But then again, I just showed some homes to some people coming in from New York, and they know exactly where they're gonna be working, and they do not want to be anything except from 20 minutes out, and they would be working downtown. We had to look at places. We had to redo their search. So we had to look at places like West Columbia, Casey, Northeast, possibly even some parts of Irmo in 29210 and 29212 zip codes, where it was still 15, 20 minutes. In my opinion, Columbia's doing a lot with traffic and making things better, but it's never been that bad. And if it gets into a tight bunch, then go ahead. I'll get together and I'll show you all the ways around it. Traffic is not an issue to me here, even though many think it is. You just have to know your way around. Rush hour, going to school or work in the morning and during the day, you've got to be able to get around that or know exactly where to go. A lot of relocators are shocked at how bad traffic feels for a city this size, but again, it's not that bad. If you're finding this helpful, I put out 2 videos a week, and it's all on information in Columbia and the surrounding suburbs just like this. So go ahead and subscribe, and if you're moving here, you're gonna want to know this stuff, but better yet, give me a call and I can tell you in person. Love talking to people every single day. Okay, number 3, flooding. Again, like traffic, this is not near as bad as what most people put it here. We do have 3 different rivers that converge on Columbia. The Broad, the Saluda, and then they form into the Congaree, and they go into different lakes. If you're looking downtown, yes, there are some areas that have flood, that would require flood insurance that is in the flood zones. We definitely need to be on the lookout for that, know what flood insurance costs. I can actually look up to see if it's in the flood zone. And if it's not, then it makes it very easy to know exactly where you want to be. As it is, now we have the once in 500 year flood, which came in 2015. And there were a lot of areas flooded, some that were not even in the flood zones. But that one's come and gone. And if you're not in a flood zone, you still stand a very small chance, even during a major flood like that, of being truly flooded. All we got to do is look up the flood zones, know exactly where you are, and we will get into that. Again, just like traffic, it's not as big a deal as what most people think that it is. Let's talk bugs and pollen. Mosquitoes are relentless. Fire ants, again, like the other 2, traffic and flooding, not as bad as what people think. I've grown up with them all my life. Some people tend to get, I don't know if it's blood type or what it is. Now, if you come from a cold climate where you hardly have any, yes, it may be a little bit of a culture shock there. But for the most part, it's not too bad. Now, when spring and fall come in, especially spring, the pollen, for a period of about 2 to 4 weeks, your car will be yellow every day when you wake up. There are allergy seasons and everything that you get into when you're talking about that. So if you're sensitive to it, it is no joke. And by the way, if you've got questions about moving here, even the small ones, shoot me a text. My number's in the description. And yes, it's really me who replies. I'm always available and I'm always happy to help. Now, number 5, nightlife. Now, if you're moving from a big city, Columbia's nightlife, it's gonna feel a little bit underwhelming and possibly even small. So sure, we've got USC football, which is huge. We've got a number of breweries, some solid restaurants, but if you're expecting endless entertainment options, places where Hollywood comes or anything like that, you're gonna be in for a big surprise. A lot of people complain that Columbia feels small when it comes to nightlife, but the main parts all the way from 5 Points, the Vista, even downtown on Main Street some. There's a little bit spread out throughout, from festivals, just small town parades, festivals, a lot of different things like that. And even where bands, local bands come to play. And again, remember, you're not far from Charleston, Myrtle Beach, Greenville, even only an hour and a half to Charlotte, where you can go for even more entertainment stuff and just make a night of it. I've done it plenty of times. Job market limitations, number 6. Columbia's economy is solid in government, healthcare, and education. But if you're in tech, finance, and other industries, the opportunities are limited. But many people are even relocating here and working out of their home. They work remote for bigger companies in other cities, but they like that slowed down lifestyle right here in Columbia. If your career depends on a booming job market, Columbia might not be it, but there's other ways to work around even that. And if you're seriously thinking about relocating, make it easy. Grab a quick Zoom call with me. We can talk through your situation, the pros, the cons, and whether Columbia is even the best fit for you. And links down below in the description. Number 7, being schools and education concerns. Well, schools can be a hit or miss here. We've got some of the best districts in the Midlands here in Lexington, Richland District 5, Lexington 1, some of the best high schools. And when it comes to football and everything, it's unsurpassed, that Southern culture of everybody coming in to actually check it out. As always with schools, I try to tell people, listen, even if you're in the best district in the state, you still got to dive down into the schools that you're going into, because there can be good and bad even in the best districts, and you may find a hidden gem in one of the districts that doesn't fare as well when it comes to, say, niche.com or something to that effect. Make sure, as I've said many times with schools, check it out yourself, make the calls, do the research, and even look into the web and search it out. Number 8, culture shock for relocators. Now, let's talk culture. Columbia is friendly, southern, and traditional. But if you're coming from a big northern city or a more progressive area, it can feel slower paced or even like a culture clash. Some people love that southern charm, others struggle to fit in. If that's you, just be prepared. But you can have the best of both worlds. As a realtor, I'm going 95 miles an hour all the time, especially making these YouTube videos and dealing with people, trying to get them relocated and moved, putting people's houses on the market, always being available on my phone. I go all the time, but when I want to slow down, I can slow down, divert my calls elsewhere, and then at the same time, I can just go floating down the river, or I can take a stroll here at the zoo. If you hadn't figured it out where I'm at yet, I can take a stroll here at the zoo, or I can just go get me an Airbnb up in the foothills or the mountains, or even up in North Carolina, and just chill out a little bit. There are plenty things to do here, or better yet, go to Lake Murray, to the Purple Martins out there, anchor down, and just chill out for the entire afternoon to watch them come in. All right, I promised you at the beginning I'd share the number one mistake, or it's number 9 in the order, but it is the number one mistake people make when they move here to Columbia. They don't understand how South Carolina property taxes work. Here's the deal. In South Carolina, your tax rate is completely different depending on whether you live in the home or it's considered a second home or investment. If you don't apply for the owner-occupied tax rate, you could end up paying, it says 6% versus 4%, but it's actually about 3 times the amount more on your house. That's not even counting about that if you've got a boat, you're paid on property taxes on your boat. Your car, you're paid on property taxes with that. Even though we have lower property tax rates, and especially if you're older, retiring, you have the Homestead Act that you're looking into, but many people forget to file. This is where I send you out reminders galore. I emphasize it during closing with you in what you've got to file. I send you the link so you can file all this. I've seen buyers from out of state move here, buy their dream home. They get blindsided by a tax bill thousands of dollars higher than they expected, all because they didn't know to file that paperwork. So when you move to Columbia, you need someone who's going to walk you through that process, like me, and make sure you don't end up wasting time every single year you own the home. And that's exactly what I do for my clients. So those are the 8 reasons, 9 if you include my last tip on taxes, that Columbia might not be the right fit for everyone. But here's the truth. Every city has its pros and cons, and Columbia has a lot going for it too. My job is to help you figure out if this city is the right move for you and your family. If you're thinking about relocating here, I'd love to help make it stress-free, as much stress-free as you can in purchasing a house. Schedule a Zoom call with me using the link below, or shoot me a text anytime. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss my future videos about living here in Columbia. Now, I'm Chad Dorman, your Columbia Realtor, always available, always honest, and always here to help. We'll talk soon.